Yo, my dude, who's this guy? Yeah, my dude with the camera right now. So everyone in here, you're gonna remain muted. We can't possibly have everyone able to talk. It just wouldn't make any sense. So Simone, yeah, you keep getting unmuted and muted. We're just gonna keep you. You're just gonna keep you muted. Um, Now this is the deal. Don't annotate on the screen here. Like we will delete it, but it's just mad annoying here. Nick, you could talk, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're good. All right, cool. So you wanna start off with DXY and everything?
Yeah, good.
All right, let's do that.
All right,
Stop share. Get you going.
let's get started. All right, cool. So we're gonna start off with DXY, right? We're straight to the 1 hour. We covered this yesterday. This failed kind of continuation pattern, right? We saw this transition happen. Support was broken, tested as resistance. We get our first confirmed lower high, second confirmed lower high, and then here's the lower low coming, right? Excuse me. So we thought this was going to drop for sure. We were definitely more bearish at the area where DXY is. We wanted to see a pullback to this, at least this golden level, 38.2, potentially lower. We'll see. But with that in mind, as of yesterday, we thought we anticipated this to drop, and based on this setup here, this transition, and this evening star back through the MA. So this was that push, the conviction candle right here. So we knew it was going to drop. So we want to jump over to other USD pairs that we're looking at that are looking to set up well. So AUD is what I was looking at yesterday. It's been kind of acting weird around this level because this was main resistance and then it broke it, and now it's just disrespecting it where it's blowing through the zone on both sides, right? So I am ultimately looking to go long on this because this resistance was broken. We're above these 200 EMAs. It found support again around this minor support here. So we could see a larger move retracement to at least a 61.8, potentially this weekly around the 88.6 as well. Just look for those confirmations. This is going to be a higher time frame setup. Like, see this fib is from here to this low, right? This lower high to this low. So, a decent pullback, at least to 61.8 is very likely, potentially even higher. Let's take a look at the daily. Right, very, very extended. Came down to this monthly. It held well. Yeah, I definitely see price action coming back to this weekly.
What is this, AU?
Definitely see that happening. Yes, AU. I mean, it looked like it was going to set up a good trade yesterday. Now it's kind of like we're back in the waiting phase. I was looking to catch some sort of rejection off these MAs and this support. Didn't want to see it break back into this range. So it kind of made the trade invalid for the time being.
You showed DXY, right?
Yeah, I just showed DXY. Very bearish, right? Very, very bearish. Totally fell out.
You want to just explain again what this even is for people who don't know?
Yeah. All right. So this is DXY, guys. This is the dollar index. This tells you the strength of the U.S. dollar, which, as we know, is a safe haven currency, is the reserve currency of the world, is in massive demand right now because of everything that's going on. So people were buying and holding the dollar because it was the safest. And obviously, we've had a lot of global economic uncertainty. So that's why we've seen this rise so steeply. And now we're finally starting to see, this market breathe, take a breather, pull back to a retracement, and then we'll figure out if it's going to continue in this bullish run or if we're going to get more of a massive correction back to where price action was before all this happened, which was at a pretty good level. Just below 100 is where we were. We were in this area before all the news. Now it's spiked up. Now it's come back for a correction, looks like. But I mean, we saw price action coming up to this weekly, right? This big weekly area right around 103, 103.5, and it rejected perfectly. And we knew this is an overvalued area. Anything above around 103 area to 104 for the dollar is super overvalued and is speculatively driven. So we saw this transition happening. Like I was saying, we were looking to short the dollar. We were seeing dollar weakness, and our sentiment on this 4 hour and 1 hour had changed from bullish to bearish, right? As soon as this lower low happened, this is the first sign that the transition of a trend is happening from bulls to bears. This first lower low, higher low confirmed, bearish setups, and then we're long, and then we're in. We're in and we're short. All right, so I'm going to take you over NCAD because this one seems to be setting up the best today for me, anyway, from what I'm seeing. Very bearish, very bearish, right? So price action come down, forming this lower low, forming a bit of a double bottom, came back up, and now it's just touching these highs, testing these lower highs. So this is a lower high here. This is just the high. So this is a huge area, the 78.6, right where this 200 EMA is. Huge area for potential rejection. You could see how much uncertainty there was. A lot of consolidation on the lower time frames before a move ultimately happened and broke to the downside. So this right now is looking absolutely perfect, right? We have, oh wait, hold on, is a question? Oh, hey, Mahogany, what's going on?
No, we're good.
Right. So we see this, this area just testing. We're seeing this support breaking, and now we're testing it as resistance. We also got through these MAs. This is a really good sign. We potentially hint at, the first setup for a transition. So this weekly is here as well. A lot of confluence. Let's drop to the 1 hour and see what we could find, right? So we have this large push. Let's go ahead and just fib this just to get an idea of market structure. Right, so right now we're right at the 61.8. This is looking pretty good. I would like to see body closure right at the 61.8 and a wick of this weekly level, followed by a huge bearish setup. A nice engulfing through these MAs would be beautiful. I would enter that 10 out of 10 times, and then I would target lower based on this projection, right down to this monthly, because I definitely think this is way more bearish than bullish, and that this is just going to continue to the downside. So This is looking very, very good. I'm going to catch something in here. We get rid of these fibs for now. Keep an eye on the analysis section, the premium analysis section for this potential setup. I will be putting this out if I see that execute. So this is looking very good. This might be a bit of a flag. Let's go ahead and mark it out. See, might be, yeah, a little bit. Not the best example, but nonetheless, it's got the same concept, right? Large push, huge push with lots of momentum, retracement, you're right. Natural market movement always has a nice pullback, and then we'll get that continuation. So we'll just look for, again, those setups over here. I'm going to take you through AJ again. This one's looking long as hell. AJ, man, look at this. Look at this beautiful setup.
What,
so we currently, as we saw this transition was happening, we saw this push to the upside, right? This long bullish leg. Now we see the MAs cross. It hits broken resistance turn support. So it tested as support and confirmed it. So this is a structure level as well. Our execution zone was a 65.5. And this is just looking to the upside. It's looking absolutely perfect. Clean transition, break of resistance, tested as support, bullish setups. We're going up to this weekly and this negative 27 fib level, which is right in the area of this 200 EMA. I'm going to mark this up for you on the 1 hour. Let's just take a look. So this was right here. This was a potentially good entry. That right there. I mean, the thing with AJ is it likes to execute a lot at night sometimes. So we did miss this one by a few hours. But, again, just always look for those pullbacks. Look for maybe something like this. Retested broken resistance, target higher. Anything that you've learned on how to, enter into position. You always want to get in on a pullback or lower time frame structure level. So, I mean, we're definitely looking bullish on this. So, I'll be posting any updates, potential setups. Let's see how many pips this is. I want to say this is
yeah, again, he'll put out this trade in the premium signals chat.
Yes. Premium signals. So let's just go over that real quick. We have 2 channels for signals, premium.
We'll go over at the end. Just do analysis for now.
So this is about 460 pips from this 38.2. So this is a huge move. Again, AJ moves like crazy. Absolutely nuts. 420 pips here. So yeah, keep an eye on this one. So these are just the main 3 I'm still looking at. Everything else is kind of like iffy to me. UJ was a great trade. Put that out yesterday. Nice job, Angelo. This was absolutely clean as hell. Look at this structure. This pattern totally flopped. Right, we started getting this transition in here. This was the first sign of it.
Yeah, I'll go over this. I'll go over here.
Yeah, you cover this. But this was, this is good. Any USD pair moved a lot overnight, right? EU pushed up again, all relative to DXY, right? The US dollar strength. So keep an eye on that.
You went over DXY, NCAD, AJ.
AU.
You want to cover EU and gold?
I'll cover EU in gold. Yeah. Actually, I didn't. Oh, here's EU. So yeah, right. This is EU right here. All right, cool. So let's go to the daily, right? So this was the projection from Sunday. You see this analysis. We did this analysis after this big push. We fibbed it. Here's a 38.2. Here's key resistance. It was key support, turned key resistance now. So from this area, we're just looking for setup because right now we're in a pretty good area, a pretty good anticipation zone, right, where we're expecting some sort of volatility to come from. Let me move this fib over so we can drop down time frames and still have it, right? All right, cool. So we're right at 38.2. Key resistance. So right now we're just looking for, I want to see a break of this zone here where these MAs are.
Check the
This
chat.
is how I would,
And
what?
check the chat real quick. I just sent you a message.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll go over gold in a second, guys. No worries. All right, so here's Euro USD. Right, this whole move here is a retracement. This bullish trend on the 1 hour is just a retracement from this larger bearish move, right? So naturally, we're gonna come back to 38.2. This is key resistance. But when do we short? When is a good opportunity to short, right? We want to see a higher low break and then a lower high form. So that is what a key transition looks like. Just hypothetically from this area, I would like to see, this. Let's get rid of this. So what I'm doing here is I'm finding the highest probability trade that I would feel comfortable taking. And that's only after I have plenty confirmations after a very, very clear transition. And this would be an example of that, right? This higher low is broken. We get our first lower low, really. And then we get a confirmed lower high, in which case I'd be looking for shorts based on, bearish setups like this. An evening star, a giant engulfing like this, a lot of exhaustion like this big wick here. That's what we're looking for, something like that. Now, will this play out? Maybe. It might. We might see another higher low form, double top, and then in which case, let's say it forms here, higher low forms here. The transition would then be we'd be looking for the transition to take place in this area then, right?
So he's just forecasting his idea, everybody. So we give out multiple scenarios and then we just execute based on which one confirms for us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I'm not forcing anything. Whatever happens here, I'm ready for it, right? I'm just trying to find what the best scenario for me to short with the most maximum amount of reward I could possibly get. And this is what that would look like. This would actually be a really nice double top. It came down, double top, and then dropped. Perfect. So that's Euro USD. Again, I'll be posting this one out in the analyses as well. As it's close to execution, I'm actually going to bump this up my list because this is, right, again, this is close to execution. So I'm going to move it up. This is on the red zone, or the green zone now. I'm taking AU off for now because it's still, this zone is just like iffy. Mm-hmm. All right, so next we're going to cover gold, right? All right, so what's one thing we know about gold, everybody? The thing with gold and DXY, what is their correlation? Somebody tell me in chat.
Gold and DXY. Yeah, let's hear it. Who's got the answer in chat?
Johnny. Hey, Bradley, yes, you are right. They're both safe haven, yes. But there's something very specific about the way gold moves versus the way dollar moves. And Johnny just said it. They share an inverse relationship, which means they move opposite of each other. So as we just showed, like this is the 4 hour for gold. So then this is DXY on the 4 hour, right? Bearish for DXY, bullish for gold, right? And that's the case most of the time. So there's a nice flag pattern here too. Damn, that's actually looking really nice. So anyway, I'm gonna start on the daily, work our way down, right? Just with the analysis that we had, we saw that this huge drop had happened. We saw price broke back into this range, and where we thought we're gonna wait, we need to see a break of resistance or a break of support in order to determine where this pair is going next. So it actually broke to the upside. It didn't give us much of a retracement. You could have entered on a very aggressive entry, lower time frame entry to catch this push to the upside. I mean, there was more risk presented because that pullback wasn't as significant as we would have liked in a lower time frame. Let's drop to a 4 hour, see where we're at. So, right, this was the break here. It didn't really pull back that much. We have a small wick. Maybe on a 30-minute you could have entered. But anyway, so back to recent price action. We saw this push, right? The market didn't come back to a structure level, right? Didn't hit one of our golden levels, but it did form a bit of a flag, right? Something like this. It does present a lot more risk where this flag is formed, right? It's right at the 0%. It's immediately after hitting the 0%. It doesn't have much volume, so there's really no chance. There was no chance for this flag to come back to a PRZ level. Ideally, I would have liked to see these candles to be much bigger, more volume present, and the flag extend all the way down to 38.2,
Right.
followed by a breakout where we would enter on some sort of transition here, right, where this blue structure level is, right? But it didn't happen. So again, another aggressive potential entry would have been on a break of this flag, right? But these just riding these MAs up, very, very risky. Yeah, look at all this indecision here, guys. Crazy amounts of indecision. This candle didn't even have a wick. It's just literally a dash. Like so much indecision here. You could even see now there's a lot of exhaustion happening. So, I mean, I'm still going to hold my original analysis and say that it's going to pull back to a key level. But until that happens, you know, we're just going to monitor and watch. Nonetheless, though, the sentiment was correct, which is the most important. So with that in mind, with the sentiment, you know, we know it's bullish. We're just going to look for those longs, and nothing's going to change our bias until we see some of these major support levels break. You know, and until then, we're just going to monitor. And this is gold. So how big was this? This was a pretty big ass push. Yeah, that's a lot. Almost a 10% increase. We're at 9.92 now, 9.3. So pretty nuts, pretty nuts. But that's pretty much it.
Gold. This is gold. Yeah.
Yeah, that was gold. So this again, guys, DXY is just going to be the market mover this week, and probably for the next couple weeks. So just keep an eye on it, and just stay up to date in our Discord because that's where we'll be posting all these updates and stuff. So
Yeah.
stay up.
So we're gonna do a little giveaway in the Discord today for anybody that's on this. So drop your name, your Discord name in the chat right now. You know, if you're not in our Discord, you can join and then drop your name in there. I just want to mention it now, so by the end of the call that I can, you know, get all of those together and then I can do a winner when we're done. So Discord, I'm gonna drop the link right now for anybody that's not inside, and then I'm gonna just look real quick. Here we go. So that's our Discord link. I'm gonna share my screen
You sent it to me privately. You got to do
now. Oh yeah, here. So this is gonna be the link to our Discord. Here, I'm gonna share my screen. So let's take a look. You see my Discord screen? Cool.
Discord's a great app, guys. It's where our community basically is. It's where
So this is the Discord chat. Yeah, we have for free members, you're gonna see public and Forex. In public, ask questions about brokers. You know, we post these live links in here. You know, ask any questions you kind of have relative to Forex, and then in the Forex channel, this is where weekly we post all of our analyses. So we'll post on Sundays all of our analysis, and then as you can see, other members of the chat are just posting different trades that they're in and stuff like that. So yeah, Forex is going to be a good channel for you to learn from other traders. And then these are our private, for our premium channels. We've got members. So members, this is where I'll post links for webinars where members can, you know, ask questions about different things, what trading journal, so-and-so, and also updates on trades that are currently out. Trades, premium signals. So these are some premium signals that we put out this week. We had GU, we had a buy on GU that went into some significant profit. And then we had a sell on USEF, which this is like an example of how we're maintaining this. So USEF, we were looking to see whether it reacted to that resistance level, which it did. Then it continued to fall. We dropped recordings. So we do weekly trade reviews in there. And then UJ is our most recent signal that we gave out last night. And UJ is, you know, in some profit right now, which we will definitely be. Then we have premium analysis, like Nick mentioned. We drop in here lower time frame analysis. So right before we're about to see entries, we'll drop our analysis in here. You know, we'll post in here like every other day. You know, we try to be as updated as possible with that. Signals 3 to 5 a week. This week, I think we've had 5 signals out. And then fundamental analysis, which is so important during this time. We post, the most recent updates on news. There's every now and then some position trades on here. So the signals are going to be intraday and swing trades, and then the signals in the news channel are more position trades based on fundamentals. So yeah, you can get access to the fundamentals, premium analysis, and premium signals just in this traders bundle package, 75 per month. So that'll include those three. And then I'll go over at the end right now what we're doing with our the sale that's going on. But let's get back into doing some analyses. So yeah, this is UJ. Let's start off on GU. Yesterday, we had during our live session, we were going over this thing played out, pretty well. So let's start on GU. Yesterday, we were at this support level, drew this support level based on these resistance, support, resistance, support, support. So this was definitely a key level, that we were at. We were waiting to see what to do. We got our bullish variation off of our key level, which really showed us that this was still bullish. And then we had all these entry opportunities, if we bumped down to a lower time frame following the support that was gained. So, we have this bullish variation, bullish engulfing, and inevitably this bullish variation. And then now we're back up into our key level. So like we always do, like Nick was doing, we like to just do a top-down, approach. Overall, we'll get our structure on the weekly, on the daily, weekly structure, as mentioned yesterday, bearish, lower high formed. Now we're at this lower low. We're coming back at the moment to retest this weekly key level right now, which is definitely significant, for sure. But at the same time, look how low we've fallen, at this point. Could we potentially retrace all the way back up to this level up here? Let's just clean that up. So could we potentially retrace, all the way back? We'll see. Rule of thumb for me is I like to make decisions based on these weekly key levels because price will usually move with a lot of volatility. So top-down approach, let's just start to see a time frame where we see structure the clearest. Start on the daily. Now we're down to the 4-hour. On this 4-hour time frame, I drew this red random line. This was our 4-hour structure. As you can see at the moment, 4-hour structure has broken. So I'll clear up, my analysis from yesterday. And pretty much at this point, we know on the 4-hour structure is broken. On the 1-hour, we're definitely in an uptrend as well. So I'll throw a little fib on from our low down here and to our high. And again, 1-hour break of structure, we broke this level right here. And as we had in our highlighted red zone before, we retested, this was a 618 area. Now we're looking to potentially get to our projection. So at the moment, I'm not looking to take, any trades. Pretty much this is what I'm thinking. If the market is going to reject this weekly level, use this as a key level of resistance, I'm going to need to see this support level and 200 EMA down here broken. So I would need to see this scenario. I would need to see price come below this level. And then as we always do, wait for that retest. So I would wait for a little bit of a retest right there. And then I would look to take this lower, back probably to this 100% area. That would be my projection. On the flip side, as we break above this level right now, say we pop above, we hit this -27 area, and then I'll also look left and see if there's any sort of key levels, in this area as well. So I'm looking left, look at this. This was a previous lower high. So I can just drag this, bring this across, at this -27 area. That was a previous lower high, previous point where price found a lot of selling orders and fell off. So I can totally see this coming into this red zone, rejecting, retesting, and then long. So these are the two scenarios. Again, we're not committed to one sentiment. We're just using our key levels. And I think especially in the market conditions that we're currently in, we've got to be able to adapt as quickly as possible, right? So this is GU. We'll drop that analysis in the chat. Let's go to USEF. So USEF, again, this was a trade that was put out in the premium signals. It's doing pretty well at the moment, but it wasn't doing well at first. We went into some profit. We went up about 80, 90 pips, and then we retraced. And as we retraced, some people put into the members chat, they were like, oh, should we exit the order? And my instruction on that was this was our key level. This was our level of resistance. This was a lower high that had formed on this 1 hour time frame. So why would we exit, based on a healthy trend is going to retrace and is going to form lower highs and lower lows, right? It's not just going to dump like completely unless it's based on some news event or that NCAD trade I put out that one time. It's not gonna it's not gonna do that. It's gonna retrace, find more sellers, and then it's going to, if it's the area is strong enough, continue to push. So we were just watching this key level. I marked it as minor level of resistance. You can see in this chat when I did the update all the way back to right here, this was our minor level of resistance that we were just watching. Retested this level, then we got all these bearish engulfings, bearish engulfing, bearish variation, bearish engulfing, bearish variation, and then we fell lower. So let's bump up a time frame and make sense as to where we're at, why we took this trade. Again, going into this week, doji, that was followed up by this bearish candle, if you can see, with a lot of exhaustion. But we were all the way up in our supply zone. So confirmations right now, supply zone, 200-day moving average, 100% level on the Fibonacci, OG candlestick analysis. One of the last things we'll do is we'll do our candlestick analysis, especially on this daily time frame. And then 4 hour, what was going on. 4 hour, from what we saw, we started to see these bearish engulfings, all the way at the top, double top with that 1 hour time frame. What was 1 hour structure? This was a higher low, and then this became a higher low based on this dump through the moving averages and then retesting this high. This was also a triple top. So as soon as this broke, I was in on this order. I think I shorted it actually early. I shorted it here based on the triple top, and then it retraced, dumped, retraced again, dumped.
Was that
So, what was that?
A bit of an ascending triangle that broke too.
Yeah, so exactly. So it's just being aware of all the patterns, being aware of where we're at, stuff like that. And this at the moment, look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour is actually breaking that 200-day moving average. Could we potentially find, another entry right now? Maybe, where we would put our stops, that's up for debate. I will say this daily projection is definitely lower. This daily projection is definitely at least this 618 area, which also kind of lines up with this previous level of support down there. And then, my original analysis was falling all the way back down to this weekly level of support where we got, this indecision, this level of structure form, previously on this 4 hour. So, we're in profit right now. We're coming to this 4 hour, 200-day. So I would be careful. I'm not, I'm moving USEF down my list. I'm not particularly too high on USEF at the moment.
You could get, if it pulled back to this area, that'd be a potential opportunity.
Right. So exactly. If we get a little pullback, and again, we'll maintain this trade. We'll maintain this trade with humility. If we get a pullback, we're not going to exit. And I instructed everyone to move stops to break even. At this point, I can take off this level up here, and I'm just maintaining my trade. Ultimately, we want to hold our winners. So unless we broke this random line up here, I'm not worried about any order or anything, besides just continuing to maintain this into lower levels right there. So yeah, that's USEF. Let's bump over to UCAD. This trade played out like unbelievable. Like it was unbelievable how well this trade played out. We've been going over this in the analysis over the last couple of days.
Look at your analysis. The line alone is.
Yeah, I know. So let's go over why I was thinking that though. USEF, again, weekly time frame. We reached these highs. This was definitely a supply zone. So I've been using, supply and demand zones. So supply zone is up here, huge range, coming down last week, just going into the week, look how last week closed. Huge exhaustion, supply zone, 2 confirmations, down to the daily candlestick analysis. Last week closed. It was a failed evening star with this exhaustion. So I was like, okay, we're potentially going to see some more bullish action, which we did. And then the first day or Monday or whatever, Sunday into Monday, we failed to engulf with that exhaustion. So what did that tell us? That told us that the buyers, we didn't have enough buyers to come in. We were about to have a sell-off down to this 4-hour time frame. What was I looking for? 4-hour time frame. And I actually missed this in the signals, but it's all good because this analysis was out. We had other trades out. But what I was looking for was, okay, 4-hour. This was our 4-hour level of support right here that we needed to break. But I didn't see structure that clearly on this. So 1 hour. And the 1 hour is where I started to see things more clearly. People were saying we were bearish based on this break of support, forming this low. But based on that daily and weekly candlestick analysis, I was just waiting. And then inevitably what happened was we retested this lower high, this level, bearish engulfing, form these higher lows. So all I was waiting for, this is what I drew, in an analysis on Monday. I was waiting for the break of this level of support right here, and then the retest. So obviously, this played out, a lot more beautifully than other analyses have played out for sure. But
look at the evening star though, guys. That is so beautiful.
Break, retest, evening star right there, boom, and then fell. Our projection level was that 4-hour level of support down here. We have marked up. So now that we're breaking that 4-hour level of support, this thing is as bearish as it's gonna be. So let's clear this up. Based on this previous, Deron, this is a crazy trade right here. So let's clear this up based on this previous analysis, and start to make sense of what could be, our next level. We can leave this on. This was definitely a level of structure right here. And then again, we have this zone right here. We also have this trend line that I was looking to have retested. That's now breaking. So I'm not gonna. I could potentially short, right now if I'm feeling, really, but look where we have to put our stops, 200 pips. That's not what I'm really trying to do here. So what would be a potential scenario? We're just looking for retests. This is definitely a confluence area right here. This is a major level, this 4-hour level. I'm looking to get this level retested. If we had caught that little retest, that would have been nice. But I'm definitely looking for that level to be retested before we really go lower. So pretty much, we got the trend line, we got resistance. If we bring on a fib, we haven't formed a lower or a level of support yet, but this would potentially be 38.2, 618, in this area. So pretty much, we're just gonna keep USD CAD on the 1 hour, and we're gonna see if we can get that next 1 hour push, because every healthy trend will retrace and will form lower highs. So we'll look to get in on that. If we look left, this was a previous higher high that we could use as a potential projection for it to come to. So yeah, USD CAD, we will wait and see what happens. I know it was reported today, U.S. unemployment rate claims soared to nearly 3.3 million.
30%, bro. What? That's what it's going towards.
Yeah, so there continues to be negative U.S. news coming out, right? There continues to be negative U.S. news coming out, even though the stimulus package was approved, and I think it was voted on in the Senate too, where it was approved. Trump tweeted 96-0, 90. I guess all 96 people voted yes for it, which is insane. So yeah, he tweeted that. So even though that's coming out, the USD is still tanking, right?
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. The unemployment really scared people.
Yeah, USD.
And the
USD
thing is, people don't need to.
tanking.
Yeah, the stimulus package also, it stops kind of the speculation behind the dollar too. It stabilizes it. It shows, because right now the dollar is grossly overvalued and it's all speculatively driven. People are just buying it because it's a reserve currency. People want to hold the dollar. They think it's going to be. It's actually, And the fact that it's like close to 104 is it's outperforming all of other safe havens. So it's actually causing more damage at those higher levels than good. So, it's in the Fed's best interest to, balance it out back to where it was pre-coronavirus, which is just below the 100 area, above 98, 100 area. So I think that's the area we'll be heading long term. And we should see that resume in the next month or so, when the volatility does decide to drop down, and all these packages, these stimulus packages in the US and also around the world start playing out. We'll see everything start to go back to normal, especially as more positive news comes out with recoveries regarding coronavirus.
Right.
So we'll see. Guys, we just got to wait it out. I mean, we don't really have a choice. We got a couple of weeks of this, and we'll get through it.
So let's continue with NU. So NU yesterday, we were in the live session and I gave you guys, we were already in a trade with this, maintaining this trade, but I gave you guys one of two options. I said on this 1 hour, as we maintain this, into these upper levels, this was our zone. If we fell below this zone, we would short. If we stayed above this zone, we would long. We came back into this zone. Yesterday, the live session was, it was at 10 to 11. So this is when we were on the call, We were saying, okay, well, let's see how it reacts to this zone. We got bullish engulfing, Morningstar, another bullish engulfing here. Now we're taking back off into this weekly level of resistance. So let's bump up a time frame. Again, USD definitely weak. So let's bump up a time frame. Take a look what's going on. Daily time frame, definitely bearish, but we're breaking through the moving averages. I think we could see, even though we're in this, resistance level, we could potentially see some upwards movement. We could see this thing go a little bit higher. Let me remove some of this analysis. So yeah, at the moment with NU, I'm kind of just maintaining this trade. I wouldn't exactly take a short, off of this area. I would, again, only short if we broke below these levels of support. I would only long, again, if we break above here and we retest and then we go high. So you guys get the theme of what's going on. We're using our key levels. We're using structure. We're getting onto a time frame where we see things the clearest. So we're, say we potentially break above this main level of weekly resistance and then we retest and get some sort of variation like down here where we can protect ourselves, then we can bring this across this previous higher high or this previous lower high, from over here, this previous zone. And we could potentially see the bounce back off of this negative 27. And then we'll basically just create another trade idea into that upper zone right there. So we're just riding this out at the moment, and we'll see what goes on. This 200-day moving average, is still kind of pointing down, so we could see it pull back a little bit and then go higher. We'll see. We'll update this in the chat. NU isn't exactly too high on my list for today. EU, again, this was another trade from yesterday. We had talked about earlier this week. Let's just start on the daily time frame. Earlier this week, we were daily, weekly. Okay, so obviously we're bearish. We're bearish on this. We're forming some lower highs, lower low, lower high that just retested this high, lower low, and then we were at this monthly level support, and then we found, all of these buyers at that level. We saw going into the week, huge bearish candle, but then doji, then this, I guess, hammer candle, not really, but we started to see some reversal candles in here. Again, same thing. Go down to a time frame you see structure clearly on. 4 hour. This was our main 4 hour of resistance of structure that had a double top and then broke above. So based on this break above and the retest, that's why we were longing this down to the 1 hour. So 1 hour structure clearly can see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and this is what we've had fibbed for the last day or so. We were just, and again, we're all the way at this 78.6 level. So when we're at these deeper fib levels, we're not going to just shoot up. We're going to shoot up, consolidate, shoot up, consolidate, shoot up, consolidate, and that's what we were looking at. So that's why yesterday I had detailed that we could have potentially retested this 618 area and then look for another buys. which we did. And yeah, that's how things played out. You know, we came back, retested this zone. We had this lower, you know, we had this lower projection in mind. Like, say we fell below our levels of support, below our stops, then we would have shorted this pair, but it didn't, right? So we're always making ourselves aware of potential scenarios. Um, so at the moment, right now, you know, let's just see where price is right now. I'm gonna actually take this off because this trade is pretty much complete. And let's take a look at what could be going on. So we hit our projection levels. I'm gonna take off that fib. I'm gonna draw a new fib from our low to our high. I'm gonna look left. I see support. I see resistance. Right here, I'm gonna draw this as a key level. You know, I'm not gonna bring it all the way back here, but it's based on that support. You know, based on this resistance. Um, we got the 200-day there as well. So basically, little trade idea would be if we get a healthy pullback, because right now we haven't pulled back at all. This trend needs to pull back. You know, this trend definitely needs to pull back and breathe a little bit. So if we do pull back into this area, we've got multiple confirmations, and then we will look to long that into what would be our 4-hour. So this is a 4-hour level of resistance up here. So we would look to long that into that 4-hour. Could we continue to climb into this 4-hour right now? Probably, honestly. But this is just my most favorable trade idea. You know, that would be going on. So that's EU. I know Nick went over EU actually. UJ. Yeah, we went over UJ. As you can see, 200-day, some rejection. I'm going to just go over GJ real quick. Oh yeah, GJ is about to shoot. Yesterday we went over this. So this is something I might potentially, you know, put out a signal or something. I mean, who knows? So GJ at the moment, you know, let's bump up to the daily time frame. We were at a low, but then we started pulling back. Ultimately, I'm expecting a retest of this weekly level up here, weekly level, right? So 4-hour time frame, see structure pretty clearly. Had this pullback to retest this lower high. Then we broke that. So now we're bullish up into this zone. 1 hour, we broke above 1 hour, you know, support at 38.2, bullish engulfing at 38.2. You know, now we're seeing some acceleration out of the zone. You know, this could potentially be like a nice trade idea, you know, right now as we've got obviously very wide, you know, wide stop loss at the moment because of the fact the market conditions that we're in. But if we do take this order and if we do get to 1-to-1, we can protect ourselves, moving our stops to 0. And this would sort of be our trade idea, you know, just trading into this upper zone, -27, -618, you know, even put it up here, you know, now we're at that 2-to-1 ratio. So, you know, when you get into an order, the key isn't to just wait. You know, the key is when you get into the order, that's when it begins, and you got to maintain it. You know what I'm saying? And you got to maintain the order. That's, you know, you put in all the work to get into the order, give yourself a chance to capture the most amount of profits as possible, but also to protect yourselves. I don't know if you have an oil
I do.
analysis. You want to just go over that real quick and then we'll wrap this up.
Yep. Let me hit it.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. So yeah, all this analysis I'm gonna post into the chat too for you guys. So if you're not in Discord, you know, make sure you guys get into there.
All right. So this is, I mean, obviously oil has been crazy bearish for quite a while now, right? Super overextended. We thought that it was going to drop. It dropped and then kept dropping. So let me redraw this fib actually. I don't think it's pulling back anytime soon, actually, because it is so fundamentally driven. But we'll throw a fib on it for shits. And we'll mark up this level just because 38.2, the minimum retracement, right, for our PRZ level.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's the monthly, so this is a good confluence area. You can go ahead and mark that. That's good. Let's drop down to a 4-hour where I've continued to kind of chop up the chart here, just dissecting these levels of structure, right? We had some consolidation here. We had this level of support formed. It broke support, tested against resistance. Now it's doing the same thing. It's just consolidating on these lower time frames. So now we're on the 4-hour. Again, it is super bearish. So I've just marked out one of two scenarios here of how this could play out. Let's drop to the 1 hour, right? So we're either looking for this 1 hour trend to continue to the upside, and then we'll target this key resistance, key support turn resistance. So this is the next major level, right around 29. So I would like to see a break, right? Followed by a higher low, followed by bullish setups. That would, give us confidence in this trade. And then it would look something like this if you were to mark it up. Whoops. Right? We're looking to enter somewhere in here. We'll target higher. You put your stop loss outside the higher low at a reasonable level. And this is already a 3.7 risk reward. So this is actually playing out to be pretty good potential setup, right? And then the opposite is true for short. We're going to look for significant close below this support, retest as resistance, give us that confirmed transition as well as those bearish setups, right? So engulfings, exhaustion, evening stars, stuff like that. And then same rules apply.
Hell
right?
yeah, it's looking clean as hell.
Enter on the confirmation, move your stop loss well outside the lower high. Right? We're going to protect the trade. And then we'll target down to our next level of support, which is around 20 flat, which is pretty likely for oil to get to that point. But I mean, we'll see. Again, we're not trying to predict anything. This is very heavily related to news, this big drop recently and this new hugely bearish sentiment. So we're just going to, keep that in mind. Our bias is bearish. We're going to favor shorting, look for this break and retest. But also, if we do see a break of this trend line, this resistance, look for that, change of trend as well. So this is oil. This one, this is looking pretty clean. I like the way this one came out this week. It's looking pretty good.
Cool. I'm gonna share my screen one more time. And so right now, what I want to just go over is we are having a sale. So we're having 40% off the full course. What do you guys get? These live sessions are normally only for members. We're doing them for free right now because coronavirus, everyone's home. I think it's good for all of us to get on, sort of like just like coffee time, like get on, talk about trades that we're going to see. Obviously, there's positions that we're going to put out from this and whatnot. But what are you going to get? Lifetime membership, all of the videos, signals, one-on-one training. So you can schedule calls with me and Nick whenever. Obviously, some of the members in the call right now, can tell you like everything, the value they're getting out of it. Trading plan, psychology training, fundamentals, webinars, and then just real quick, this is the course. It's broken down into 6 weeks. Basics of Forex, getting started with the apps, technical analysis, basically the basics of our strategy, homeworks, trading plan. So this trading plan is major. I recommend people print this thing out. It's 33 pages. So this is something that you get with us. Week 4, more advanced topics. Week 5, this is like the most important section, back testing, index analysis, convergence. This is like really our whole strategy. Week 5 homework, psychology training, and then books, and then all of our webinars and all of the trade reviews. So again, thank you guys for hopping on. We're going to do this again on Tuesday. Tomorrow we're not going to do anything. We're doing these Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And thanks for hopping on. Nick, if you have anything you want to say to close off, that's pretty much it.
I think that's pretty good, guys. Definitely explore the free resources, get in the Discord, ask questions, and then keep joining on these trading sessions. They're a lot of fun. We cover a lot, and gives you a good outlook for each day and week. So thank you again, guys, and we'll see you in the community, I'm sure.
And I'm about to drop the giveaway in the Discord, and I'll drop the recording of this in the Discord in a little bit. We'll see you guys again on Tuesday.
Yep. Cool.
Peace out.
Have a good one, guys.